let me start here with the most obvious question. So the thing that's generating so much attention now is the fact that both Pete's and CPK have come out with these kind of huge statements. I mean, they've got restaurants all across the country, or CPK, but with Pete's, the position is we're going to outright ban open carry. That ban, however, is the result of a small group who contacted them and said, you need to exercise your property rights, your private property rights, and ban these people from your restaurants. Give me your reaction to that action.
Well, I mean, I respect their property rights. I think they have a right to say, I can't enter their property with my firearm. But me as an individual, I have a choice of what businesses I frequent, and if they're going to ban open carry and ban basically my Second Amendment rights, then I'm going to take my business elsewhere, and I think a lot of other gun owners are going to as well. So the point of us raising awareness on CPK or Pete's, I know the boycotts have been mentioned, but the point of that is just to let other gun owners know that they don't respect your right to carry a gun. I mean, it's fully within their rights to say that I can't enter their property. I would never say that they don't have a right to do that, but I have a right to take my business and give my money to another competitor like Starbucks.
Well, tell me what you think about this organization then contacting them. I mean, it seems that you were having meetings, or at least planned meetings there before. There had been no outright ban. Now they make these phone calls. What do you think of this group calling the executives at these restaurants?
Well, I think the Brady campaign has an agenda. I mean, that's clear. Their organization, their whole goal is to enact more strict gun control laws. And I'm not surprised that they're contacting businesses. I mean, obviously, I disagree with them. They have a right to contact them as well. They can frequent what businesses they want, but I want gun owners to know that Pete's isn't allowing me to carry, Starbucks is, and so I'm going to go to Starbucks.
Then let me ask this. Let me play naysayer then. People are going to say, look, we live in a large metropolitan area, and this is an area that is very, very, very well known to gun violence. It's happening every day. It happens all over the place. So why invite more attention walking into a restaurant with a gun strapped to your waist?
Well, my response to that is I'm not necessarily inviting attention, and something just fell on the ground.
That's Ethan Brown.
You gotta keep going.
Okay, so let's start there. So question. Are you being provocative?
No, I am exercising my right to the ability that I'm allowed to under California law. Now, if people are scared at the sight of a weapon, that's easily remedied. If the county sheriff would allow me to have concealed weapons permit, then I can protect myself without possibly scaring or provoking the people in the community to react. But that option is not available to me. So I got to go to the best available option. That available option is to openly carry it on myself.
Is there a need to go into a Pete's, to go into a Starbucks with your gun showing? Is there a need to do that?
Is there a need to go anywhere in public? You could stay in your home and be safe for the rest of your life, assuming nobody breaks into your house. But when you go about your daily business, you go to the grocery store, you go to a coffee shop, you go to a restaurant. Why should I stop my ability to protect myself when I'm going about that business?
Now, I assume you work.
I indeed work.
Do you open carry at your job site?
I wish I could, but the place that I worked at, under the terms of my employment, they say that I am not allowed to carry it out in the workplace.
So otherwise, you would carry this gun to work?
I would definitely carry it at work.
Do you carry it to the grocery store? Do you carry it to a workout center?
Well, I don't work out, but I would carry it to the grocery store. But the problem is I have to make sure that any place that I do carry it to is not within 1,000 feet of a school. So if the grocery store that I want to frequent is within 1,000 feet of school, I have to make the decision. Do I go to that grocery store, or do I take my business to a grocery store that's not within 1,000 feet of the school? These are the time conflicts, you know. How important is it to me to run in and grab something real quick as opposed to my safety? You know, there's a trade-off there.
Well, you bring up an interesting point on safety. The Brady Group is saying it's completely unsafe. Walking around with guns, even guns that are not loaded, creates chaos in their words. Their feeling is just because you have a gun, well, let me correct that. Their position is because you have a gun makes it more likely that you may use it if something goes down in the store, if something goes down in the restaurant.
Well, to that, I would respond that I'm a common sense, level-headed person. Anybody who knows me, and I know it's impossible to know the mindset of every single individual, but I personally do not flip out and lose control at a moment's notice. And the whole point of the law is to allow people to go about their daily business and act responsibly. somebody could easily be driving a car, completely lose control, and plow into a bunch of people. The natural reaction isn't to ban all people from owning cars. Same thing with handguns. You know, there is a chance that someone could completely lose control and do something illegal. But the answer to that is not to prevent all people from owning guns. The answer to that is to educate people to behave in a responsible manner as members of society.
Then I have to pitch the same question to you. What do you believe about the Brady Group contacting the executives of these corporations and seeking a ban?
Well, quite frankly, I understand it's their right to do so. But I think that they could have done there would have been a better way to go about it. If they had an issue with those of us who showed up at Pete's on January 9th, they could have contacted us and expressed their concerns to us, and we could have opened up a dialogue. But instead of choosing to do that, they decided to just go completely, you know, off half-cocked, if so to speak, and just try to like end the rights for anybody. And I believe that's going too far and that's doing too much. That's not a common sense way to deal with the situation.
They're saying they're being advocates, David. They said that, you know, hey, if you're advocating open carry, we're advocating protecting the public. What do you say to that?
I said that's fine. They have a right to advocate their position, but I have a different one, and I think the facts are on our side. There's a University of Chicago study that's called More Guns, Less Crime. I really believe that. If you look around the country, almost every state, I believe there's only 9 states that don't allow open carry. I believe it's 9, and there's not chaos there. I know that the Brady campaign would say it's chaos to have guns, but there's no chaos in the other states. Many states have lower crime rates than we have, so I don't think that's true.
So what happens now? I mean, what do you guys do? This is clearly becoming a battle royale. Each time you decide on a location where you're going to meet with others who share your interests, it seems that they're going to contact those restaurants. What do you do now?
I'm going to continue to go about my daily business and go to the places that I want to go to. And if that business decides that they support my right, I'm going to continue to frequent that business. If that business decides that they don't support my right to protect myself, I'm going to rethink whether I want to continue going to that business, and maybe I'll go to a competitor.
What if this turns out to an all-out ban? What if restaurants, coffee houses across the Bay Area just decide, we've seen this enough on the news, we've seen this in the newspaper, this is ridiculous, we're banning all of you?
I don't think it's going to reach that point. I definitely don't think it's going to reach that point. It is their right to do so. But I'm sure that there will continue to be some businesses
Well, look, they say no shoes, no shirt, no service. So could that easily extend to with a gun on your hip?
But that's not a state or local or federal law of any sort. That's just up to the individual business. I don't think that all businesses are going to have this mass meeting and say we're not going to allow all people to have firearms on them.
I think there's going to be a free market answer to this, and that is if Pete's, for instance, is going to ban firearms, Starbucks takes the opportunity, and now we're here buying Starbucks coffee, and I think it's going to happen with other restaurants. I don't think you'd ever see a complete ban, because I mean the fact is there's a lot of firearms owners that are going to have a problem with the ban, and they're going to want to go to a business that's going to respect their rights.
Now that's an interesting point, because you often meet at Starbucks.
I wouldn't say more so than other places, but it is a location that we go to.
And what's been the reaction at the Starbucks? Or the Starbucks that you often meet?
Quite honestly, at the few locations that I've gone to, nobody seems to have even noticed. When we even walked into this location, nobody even noticed that we had a firearm on us. They noticed your cameras more than they noticed our firearms. And the manager said, she completely supports our right to the firearms. She was upset about your camera in her store.
What do you think about the sense that, there's been the media reports that people are frightened out of their wits?
I think those reports are completely blown out of proportion. I'm sure that perhaps there is one or two or a few, but from the overt actions of the people when we walk into locations, nobody seems to be completely crazy or anything like that. We've not heard many police calls regarding what we're doing whatsoever. So, again, if you have someone who hears about what we did later on calling the police, that's maybe an agenda item that they're doing as opposed to an actual reaction to what we're doing.
Okay, then my final question. You guys have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow, or at least it's posted on your website.
There is one in Antioch tomorrow.
So if you have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow, of just interested people, don't you feel you're kind of giving them, you're tipping the hat, you're letting them know exactly where you're going to be? In turn, they contact that restaurant. They then say, can you ban these people? It becomes a trickle-down effect. Is that not a concern?
I think the biggest thing for me is